your point, because I see there are still a lot of speakers.
Our main challenge is not even Ruto. Ruto will go when members of parliament are at home. We should make it a business every single month. We should make it a business that every single month we are in parliament. Mpaka waende. By the way, the only way to change this country is to chase these people from parliament. We will go back to election. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ajuaga. A lot of things that you have injected there. How can you send people to go outside the country? These are young kids, young Kenyans. They have never even traveled. You don't do any arrangement. We have seen people going, when they are there, they are stranded. We have seen Kenyans, even the one, they are in Lebanon. When there was war, when there is war in Lebanon, you don't have even mechanism to evacuate them. Kenyans are crying there. Now you are sending people, when you yourself, you know, there are some things even reason. How can a government operate like employment agency? Which government in this world? People have been going abroad all along. You don't need a government to facilitate for you to get employment outside. That is what employment agency does. Government, you are here to create employment here back at home, not in another jurisdiction. What power do you have over another jurisdiction? In fact, a good government should be even giving incentives for Kenyans, expats abroad to come back home and build the economy, not to be sending people away. Kenyan lady, please, yeah.
Good morning,
Go ahead.
good afternoon, good evening. Hi, Fabish. Hi, everyone. Always a pleasure to listen to Kenyans. And this is the kind of topic I've been waiting for, the kind of conversation I've been waiting for. So I'm very happy to be a part of it. First of all, I want to thank the speakers because I listened and tried to get something here and there. And there are a lot of things that were said that make a lot of sense now. Olga just said, I think you're the one who said we should start attacking the Wazungu. Absolutely. That is where you start because they are not bringing any benefits to Kenya. And when you look at what happened during Mandamano, they were even brandishing guns at Kenyans. You're either with us or against us. They are the problem. They have to go. They have to go. They must understand that if they come to invest in Kenya, if Kenyans are not benefiting from it, which is the case right now, their businesses are in danger and their lives are also in danger. Because if you join a country that is at war, you must join them and be one of them, or you leave the country. They chase us from the countries, but here we are welcoming them. If you look at the Chancellor of the University of Nairobi, for the first time in the history of Kenya, Mzungu has been invited by a president to be the Chancellor of a university. What does that say about our education system? What does that say? Mzungu, this Patrick Vakojan, who studied at Harvard University at the beginning of this year, was invited by Ruto. He's now the chancellor for 5 years. How do you? People are looking for jobs. I'm so pissed, to be honest. I'm so pissed today. I just wanted to vent and then bring the solutions at another time because I'm just so pissed. How can it be? You cannot get a job in Germany if a German can take that job. That means if a German is even less qualified than you are, you cannot get that job. You don't get jobs in parliament, etc. The first parliamentarian who tried, and he's now a parliamentarian, but just in 2020, they shot at the parliament buildings in Germany because he was in parliament, the first black one. And then here we are inviting Wazungu. Wazungus have never, ever brought anything of value to the African continent. Never. They are poison. When they come in their own interests. They need our mineral resources. We don't need them. They don't have mineral resources in their countries. They hardly have anything they can really put to use. So I'm really pissed off. And then looking at the way the situation is currently, I'm just asking Kenyans, how much are you going to take? He's introduced reforms in the healthcare industry, reforms in infrastructure, in education sector, in the housing sector. There is no stop to anything, and that is why I say revolution. It must be. It must. Ruto must go. You know, all African countries are on our side. How did Bangladesh overtake us? We were running this thing. We had him by the balls, by scrotum, the way Julius Malema would say. He must fall, and he will fall. What he needs is pressure. But we cannot. One of the mistakes I'm seeing is people announcing, there's going to be Mandamano on these and these dates. Excuse me, what are you lacking? Do you lack marchers? Do you lack firewood? What are you lacking? Because as far as I'm concerned, those houses of the MPs should not be standing. Their businesses should not be standing. That is the way I see it. One child dies, 10 MPs go down with that child. Children were abducted. People are not even talking about it anymore. Children were taken. Are we in Nigeria right now where children just disappear? Do you know Nigeria's population of 220 million people? But in Kenya, look, children disappearing. People don't say anything. Who are they? Who are taking these children? Where do they take them to? I'm also seeing cases, people lining up at Care ICC. Much as I understand that Kenya's economic situation at the moment has never been as rock bottom as it is. I want to say, you go to Qatar, I will not contribute 1 cent for you to be returned to Kenya because you're going into slavery. That is what is going to happen. If you look at a country like I live in, like in Germany, Kenyans are murdered and nobody talks about it in Africa, like nobody. You see a boy who's just very innocent came to do his medical degree. Then the police are like, he was found on the trails. And I get so mad because, of course, I'm one of the people that you call, and I get really pissed off because I'm like, how can it be happening? There is no inspection. We don't have a regime. The Kenyan embassies worldwide are failing. I had somebody saying the Kenyan embassy in Paris functions well. Well, it functions for you, but until systems function for everyone, they have failed. People have to understand that. The Wazungus have to leave Kenya. They must leave Kenya. Now, I'm going to talk about this tomorrow because I just came from work and I just jumped in, just listening and doing things. But I'm sorry. When I was asked to go to Venezuela in May of this year, it was towards the end of April, they had no courage at all to protest. Those people had been under dictatorship for way too long. And then they had the 1st of May protests. Those are the labor protests. And I was thinking, Kenya is going to do the same thing for God's sakes. Because why do we have Francis Atwoli in Kotu all this time? Since the beginning of the 2000s, for Christ's sakes, aren't you guys tired? Aren't you tired? How can the children even be able to speak in a public space anywhere? They shouldn't be. They shouldn't even be dancing in churches. Those people have to be banned out of those churches. Those Charlene Rutos you see, they cannot be singing and dancing in churches. Why are they? They're the beneficiaries of this system. So you guys are suffering. I'm not seeing people comparing prices like I don't know, in Kilimani or in Nairobi. The price of unga is this much. The price of unga in Nakuru is this much. How much is it? We want to see. Because when you talk about inflation, even there, they're like, okay, the inflation rate in Kenya is totally okay. It's, 2%. At 2%, you say that's quite okay. But it shows like it's at 4 point something percent, which cannot be. The rate of inflation is much, much higher. What are you going to pay the housing levy from? People die and people are just like, and I feel guilty. I feel guilty because I'm not in your situation. So it's very hard to tell people, go and do this. But a time is coming, and it has to come very soon, when the rich must be eaten, when they cannot drive their cars on those streets because you're paying even for their cars. When you guys fall ill, they go for medical treatment abroad. But when I saw this thing, the play between these NHIF and the ping pong and SHI and SHI, I was just like, what the fuck is going on, Shah? Sorry, and Chief. I was like, what is going on? Because during that week, I also read something on social media that a mother was taken to hospital and then they couldn't raise the money and then she died. She went on Tuesday and Saturday she was dead. And it cannot be that you guys are paying so that Ruto may breathe. You don't have electricity, but you're paying religiously. I don't even understand this thing with how this electricity thingy works. Like, you get this thingy and then you have to kind of get it at home, because before, um, it used to be like they'd come and switch off electricity. I don't know whether that still happens. I don't know. But guys, we cannot allow this impunity to go on. The whole world was looking at Kenya, and we're going to go back to a point right now when politicians fear to even appear in public. And it must be soon. How should that happen? I'm going to talk about that, not today, because there's so many people waiting. And I just thank you all, really. Let us start this revolution. But how should that happen? There must be fires. There must be fires at night. Light a fire somewhere. Start there. Start practicing how to light fires. If you don't have the courage to do that during Mandamano, let them be busy switching off the fires. Those houses of the MPs, their businesses, Yaya Center, intimidate those security guards. Either they fight with you or they fall with you. There is no in between. It is a revolution. Ruto cannot get to 2027 by no means. By no means. Like, every week there's a new reform, then the cabinet secretaries are replaced, and then we say, okay, we don't want to have them, and then all of a sudden they're back in, just recycled, just repositioned, and just rearranged. And I look at that and I get so angry, because my heart bleeds literally for Kenya. I'm just like, how can you be building Western economies and your country is crumbling? This man is so arrogant, even has the guts to travel out of the country and just come back like casually, like nothing happened. And people are dying at that same time. The police, we have to start abducting these police, taking them to corners in town and teaching them what it means to be circumcised again. They have to become men, because men stand up for the country. They don't kill each other. Thank you very much for today. I'm done. I'm just so pissed off. Really, if I had the capability right now, honestly, those weapons they use, the tear gas, whatever, all those weapons, I would be throwing them everywhere. Honestly, I would be throwing them everywhere, because it cannot be that a handful of people are controlling the economy of Kenya, are controlling people to such an extent that people are so intimidated even to walk in two pairs. It cannot be. So Kenyans, please, I urge you, let us stop this thing up. We've lost courage. Every country that is enjoying freedom, it was fought for. It was fought for. So please, you have power in numbers. Fabish, I'm going to say, I'm not going to disclose the strategies right now or today, but there are many strategies, and not the simple ones of just lighting a fire or bonfire. Not those ones. There are others, but we have to start organizing. How do we start organizing? We have to organize out of the spaces, because they can listen. They can understand and they should hear about the strategies. That's okay, but they cannot understand how people are grouping and how they're traveling, and so that they can block the roads and just shoot people and tear gas. They cannot do that. So my suggestion for today, just to leave you with this, is that there must be, like I did in Venezuela, and they actually found the courage to hold bigger protests just months after that. There have to be groups right now where people say, I'm attending this Mandamano. So if you have somebody, one person, or at least your two guys, you have to make sure that person is there. So then you will see, and you have to kind of, sorry, I'm trying to think of the words. You kind of have to, sorry, I've lost the word. I'm just too exhausted for tonight. But I'm going to tell you, Fabish, how to do that. And we're just going to have our talks and organize. And then I'm going to do that on the space also, because it's not a problem. But WhatsApp groups have to be there. Organizing. There's going to be a revolution here and here. And how do you sort out the police in that group? People have to provide, unfortunately, they have to provide their identity. That is just the way it is. And once you give your identity, your phone number, everything, you betray people, they're going to be found. And of course, there are going to be spies in those groups. They're going to be spies, but there are solutions even to that, to sort these people out. And if we don't do that, if we don't organize, that you make sure somebody is coming, that we know, okay, if there is a Mandamano here at this in this place, they're going to be like 2,000, 3,000 to 100,000 people. It will work. People have to believe it will work. And also, Mandamano actually has to be compulsory, like we do also in Europe. If they are oppressing somebody, these demolitions that are going on, or the landlord rates, the rent rates going very high, we always gather there and sleep there at night, making sure those people are not evicted. So until people understand that a person's problem is not just that person's, but it will eventually come to eat you. Even those politicians, they normally started raising Harambe's, after they were out of power, like Rigathi is going to do very soon. Like, help me, I need medical attendance. But people stand strong, start organizing. The revolution has to start, and it has to be bonfire after bonfire. You saw what France did, for God's sake. You see what Germany does whenever there's a protest. There has to be fire. Fight fire with fire. You cannot bring water to extinguish the fire. Thank you very much. I'm sorry I wasn't prepared, but we'll talk tomorrow and in the progressive days. Thank you.
Thank you so much, our sister. Thank you so much. That was very powerful. Ladies and gentlemen, we are continue discussing and bringing solution. This movement now is taking another shape. We are done with the jokers and content creators. We cannot be wasting our times, sleepless nights. We are absconding our work to discuss things that are endless and that are unproductive. That's why we are saying now we are taking another route. We are now becoming very serious. This is now a movement that is not for joke. The movement that we are not there just to be relevant. We are not looking for followers. We are not looking for content. We are not looking for to be famous. It is our collective duty and responsibility. And we have said that we will imply every tactical means that we can. Our end goal is that we are tired with this regime. There is nothing to negotiate with them. There is nothing to talk with them. But first thing first, we cannot allow this regime to use goons, to use criminals to be abducting, torturing, and killing us. So before they do that, now we are strategizing. We will go after them before they harm us. And we want to make sure that very soon the government will start now feeling the heat. This game, these gimmicks, this taking us and throwing bills here and there, taking us around. We know those kind of games. Kenyans are not stupid. We are very educated. We are very knowledgeable. We know the games that you are playing. And now we want to tell them that stop that game. We have given them enough time, 2 years plus. On June, we even invited the president to the space. We told him what we wanted him to do. But he blatantly continued being a tone deaf. So it is not our problem anymore. We just need them to leave, all of them. We want all of them to leave. This is a movement. The movement now, when it gains momentum, whether you are in the movement or you are against the movement, understand that there will be consequences. Don't betray the movement, because this is about life and death. When you are betraying the movement, you are dancing with the graves of those people that they already sacrificed their lives for this movement and for our country. We cannot allow to disrespect our fallen heroes anymore. So when you decide to join the movement, understand that you are signing for the cause. Let the history judge you when the new history of this country will be written. Let your name count. At least you'll be telling your children that you are part of the people that redeem this country. So we are not joking anymore. Hatutafuti neta content, hatutafuti content. Hatutafuti kujulikana. We are not looking for positions. We are not looking to be bigwigs or to be the leader of political parties. We are not interested with political formation. This is a revolution movement. And we will continue being a movement until when we redeem this country, then now we can decide whether we want to have a political formation. So Samuel, then we go to, there was this guy, Samuel, I think, then Doc, and then Ras. Then we go to, oh no, it is Samuel, then Engineer, then Doc, then Kabiru, then Ras, in that order.
Asante, nafikiri mnanisikia vizuri. Kwanza wacha nishukuru kwa hii nafasi ambayo nimeipata, kwa sababu nilikuwa natamani ni pia niongee. Nasikia moyo wangu uko na mchepuko sana na hasira nyingi sana, kulingana na waongezi ambao wametangulia kuongea hapa. Wameongea mama ambayo nimesikia yamenigusa na yamenitia uchungu, haswa kulingana na huu uongozi wetu ambavyo unaendelea hapa nchini Kenya. Kwanza kabisa, ninavyoangalia kulingana na topic ambayo imekuwa highlighted, kwa huyu Mr. Cherengai amesema kwa 80% ya Wakenya wamekuonekana kama wamesupport hiyo mambo ya kwa miaka 7 ya uongozi watu wako kwa mamlaka. Mimi nafikiria huyu jamaa labda alikuwa ametoka.
When we are sending memorandum to Senate, we are sending to the institution, not an individual. Cherargei is not Senate, is just, you know, is a I think you keep
people. Not that
I think you keep on.
Yeah. Yes. That's why that mic is for 12 people mic, and again is 131. You must also always ask yourself, it is not that you are much important, but those 131 believe in you, but because they believe in you, inflict something that give them hope, something that makes them strong. And that is how we will drive the movement. So the movement is good. People are coming out. We are having different sub branches. There's legal team, there's spiritual team, there's also civic education team. This is the way to go. There's no other way. And we are not barring anyone from coming to us. You come to us, unless if you have an idea that rhymes with us, we will work together. Only if you speak what we speak, but you can't come to us and you expect us to speak what you have come with. You will speak what we speak and we'll work as a brother. We are not deterring anyone. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Now we go to the hunter. The hunter. Is it the hunter?
Oh, Babish, thank you. My network is very bad.
Okay. Yeah, go on.
But I want to thank each of us for the day. I want to say that those who submitted, I've done my copy on the wall of your page of the petition that I submitted today. I want to say that we really need to wake up, my brothers and all sisters here, because it is very abnormal to see the Attorney General, before even the compilation of the memorandum is completed, looking at them, that the Attorney General has stated the public participation agenda and call for our views. So that tells you that the process of the term limit as provided for and tabled through the bill at the Senate Assembly is a process which is carefully planned by Ruto. This is not a secret, but we have reminded him that one time he said that he will not oversee the transition of our constitution being mutilated by way of having a very serious popular initiative or a referendum being carried out by the National Assembly in form of extending the term limits. So as we have done today, we also need to do quickly, we need to do those submissions in terms of our view in respect to public participation, and we need to reject kama hatuwezi kukataa hii maneno I'm foreseeing a situation that Ruto will rule for the next 100 years as he said. But zaidi ya yote, we also need to change our way of handling these matters, including now doing very serious debates across all platforms, the social media, the mainstream media, and also doing public fora engagement, which will be covered in all other platforms. Else, this process will see Kenya go down. But I want also to thank the High Court today for actually giving the conservatory orders in respect to the energy contract with Adani and the Ketraco. I really want to say that we are really moving on well. But we also need to come up with more strategies to cap this menace. I will land because I'm seeing my phone is gone off.
Okay, thank you so much, The Hunted. I see new speakers. Cheruyot is there, then Jeffy.
Fabi, I'm leaving for hospital. I needed to just add something little, if you don't mind.
Okay.
From what the immediate speaker said, and I think Binti also. There's something I want to dissuade us here. Let us not come here and kind of imply that only our ideas are valid and other people's ideas are not. Let's give this space everybody to come express themselves in the way they know best. Of course, if they go anti the movement, we should call them out, but let us also not be in a situation where we think we know and other people don't know. Here we are equivalent. You do your role, give people 3 minutes, they give their submission, and they move on. Thank you.
That is true. Very, very well. Let's go to Cheruyot. Then we go to Jeffy. I see Gift, your hand is up. Is it something quick or?
It's something very quick, actually.
Okay.
If you give me a second, I'll be able to
Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
Very many times before me and Xavier, I had not realized who Xavier is until I heard him talk. And me, I'm very good with voices. When I heard his voice, I realized he's someone we've been at loggerheads before. In other spaces, we've ever had loggerheads before, but na nitatakiwa hapa as being one of the people who are being told are supposedly coming up here for supposed looking of conversation is before Fabian was talking to you on the comment section, I told you I feel like there is a lot of biasness in that. There is a section of us who really want to let our opinion be the opinion, the alpha, the omega situation. And just because I don't agree with you, or just because my line of thought is very different with you, it doesn't mean that I am wrong. It doesn't mean that you're right. It just means we are different people. We have different ways of viewing things. We have different ways of actually coming to a certain conclusion. And that is why people have town hall conversations such as this. Your spaces, Fabish, and a few other people that I'm seeing are what is called town hall. The whole point of a town hall is for Fabish to come with his opinion, Rasji to come with his, Gift to come with his. There is no point of a town hall that is supposed to be that it must be from a place of all being in agreement in all the things that we are talking about. We already have one single objective that brings you into a town hall. Either you're discussing about rents in your place, or you're discussing about, in this situation, good governance in your country, in as far as having an illegitimate government is concerned. So that there gives us a basis. But just because it gives us a basis does not mean that we will all walk in one opinion. And so when I hear some people continuously want to hammer that because we have been here before, we have seen this before, you younger guys, you need to listen, you need to hear. I appreciate all of that. I appreciate you've been somewhere before. I appreciate as a 35-year-old, you might be a 45-year-old, a 50-year-old who's seen a couple of things more than I have. I completely respect that. But at the same time, your opinion and my opinion can both have a space to both be listened to and be heard. And then the last thing I wanted to say is, as Binti had said before, we are not all operating from the same place of energy. I've told you before, Fabish, May before 25th of June, I have been as many other millennials who may pretend. Some are here, some are not. As many other millennials, I was one of those people who was less concerned about good governance, less concerned about political aspects. Nilikuwa hapa nasema hai, inanisumbua wapi? Mimi naamka job, naenda, sigavo ishi kuiba, si corruption inakuaga, sijui nini. I got to my day and my moment of salvation for my reasons on June 25th. Now, wherever I operate from, Fabish, is not the same level of energy and momentum as yours. You, with your momentum, must appreciate me with mine and create space for mine. And even if sometimes I will look shaky, do I have the same objective with you? Yes, I do. So you that has the energy that is twice mine, if you're able to be a bigger brother to me, then you can be able to look back, slap me when you need to slap me and wake me up, but at the same time, be very quick to realize that in this particular situation here, you're my elder and I'm following. So I may not be in the same energy as you, but accommodate my energy. If I come and say that when I walk out from Mandamanos, because I've never been to them before, and I say I walk out with a sense of cowardice, don't tell me don't walk out if you're coward. We are not all in the same space. We have to allow each other that we are all coming from a different place. So encourage me and my cowardice. Unless I'm here talking some very different thing from the movement. If I'm talking a very different thing from the movement, please hold me by the ass, give me a wedgie, throw me out of the room. I will throw myself out, in fact. But if we are all speaking from the same language, even if we are not on the same energy levels, even if we're not operating from the same space, Nanini, and I know I've prepped myself for yet another serious bombarding, which is fine. For me, in my line of work, I love criticism because criticism builds us in every way. But I believe let's give each other energy of knowing hapa ndipo huyu msi anatoka, hapa ndipo lesson anatoka. Lesson ako na place fulani yenye energy ya lesson mazee, nina look forward to ile siku nitafika hiyo place. Basa hizi mi siko hapo. So wacha lesson na create space ya kuni accommodate, na pia na mimi ninajua tuna move on the same direction. So nisikuja nianza kupreach kwenda Garissa na tulikuwa tunaenda Moyale, tusifanye direction tofauti. Let us all have space for wherever we are coming from. But Fabish, all in all, you're doing a good job. I've seen you starting these spaces from a very small place and going all the way to where you're going right now. It is building something. You're really, really building something in a town hall space that is allowing people, even of different opinion, to just come in, sit down, talk. We may not agree in certain things, we may not agree in certain places, but right here, right now, we have one common enemy and he needs to go. Whether we push him out in this way or push him out in that way, he has to go one way or the other. So you're doing, I'll give you your flowers right now. Congratulations for everything that you're doing. And shout out to you. I'm going to drop at some point, bro, but Dile tunataka cut some sleep and cut some time with family. But you're doing an amazing job and congratulations to you.
Thank you, bro. Let me go to Cheruyot, then I come to Lizol.
Can I have just a quick, if you don't mind, just a quick one
Okay.
before DK goes? Sorry, I want to say this. You can hear me clearly.
Go ahead.
Pamish, you can hear me.
Yes. Hey, we can hear you clearly.
What I'm saying is that I want to agree with DK in terms of the explanation. And maybe, as you have said clearly, some of us who have been, we are a bit older in these things. Sometimes we may lack that patience of trying to explain something too many times, of which something we need to learn and maybe appreciate. But in essence, what we are telling, and what I'm saying, and what many of us are saying, we feel you, we hear you. Some of us are coming to this place not because we want to get some fame or ego or to babysit anybody. We are here to assist this very noble movement that was started by Gen Z. It is the time for all hands on deck, as people have said before, to just to give it an impetus to achieve its objective, because otherwise all of us are done. All of us under this regime, we are all under threat. And just to explain to you a bit further, even in the lion kingdom, what we are doing now is exactly what happens even in the animal kingdom. The younger ones are there to go for the hunt. On the flanks, we have those who are very, very good, younger, good hunters who have been in the game. But behind you, there are older people who come for the kill. It's exactly the same thing. Please feel comfortable. As much as we are trying to tell you in a maybe a harsher tone some of these things, it's not because we don't appreciate where you're coming from, don't appreciate that you've not dealt with these things before, or are trying to undermine any younger person in any way. If anything, you're a source of our pride because you are the ones who are able to do what ourselves were not able to do when we are Gen Zs, including the Matibas and others. So what this generation has done is something commendable. But for us to go on, we must also bring some bit of our experiences and expertise to help the movement achieve its goal. And I don't want to belabor the point, but I'm asking you, I beg you, guys, don't come here to try to be soothed or to think that you're being undermined. Please take the positive side of the story. We are not going to agree at any point, all of us, on one thing, or how to do the same thing, all of us, or to have one direction. This movement is going to be won by having multiple fronts approach. Those of you who have a problem with the military side of the story, please relax. You'll see it helping you at a later stage. And you'll appreciate why some of us were saying this, that you must go have civil disobedience, carry your shit, carry your rotten eggs, carry your nail cutter. You'll come and appreciate this later. Those who will take that side as a thing that they want to do, please pursue it. Those of us who can do the posters, singing, please do it. But the movement is about recruiting 11 people. Try to recruit solely 11 people in a cause you believe in. I appreciate all the people who have spoken earlier. I'm going to drop just to give other people, but we are here listening through ourselves or through other teams because we want to pick the best ideas from everybody. And host, please rotate the mic as much as we can. Some of us want to drop so that we also don't have a monologue, but let us many people come in, give the idea. Even the ones that are criticizing us, we appreciate and we take it kindly and positively. So I wish you well, but remember, we are being kept busy by Ruto. Even this bill is just a charade. At some point, Ruto will say maybe hiyo mambo ya Terega is Turkey, and then the country will have a feel-good moment. That Ruto amekataa hiyo kitu. This is how you waste. They are going to waste us. Tomorrow they'll come with something ridiculous. In the process, Adani goes through. So you must be aware that Ruto will employ all tactics. Like today, all that nonsense of Mtua, inviting our youth who are very desperate for jobs to go to a KICC. It is a charade. It's nonsense. They just want to have many people appearing there. They look like they're doing something. It appears in the news. You criticize it, but criticize or not, he has already gotten the airway that the government is doing something. But in actual fact, they're doing crap. Because do we want to have our children as slaves? Do you want our people who can use backhoes or those who can go and clean, going to clean Arab countries or European countries? You can still do a very nice cleaning business in Kenya if the environment allows and you get good money and stay home. So all these are gymnastics that Ruto is employing to divert the Gen Z. And that's why some of us are telling you guys, please, let's keep our eyes on the ball. The issue is the traitor, the butcher of Sugoi must go. His regime is illegitimate. He has gone out of the constitution. We must fight him within the constitution and outside the constitution. Thank you, ma'am. I yield.
Thank you so much, Lyson. I see Cheruiyot, you just dropped. And kindly, there is someone that requested the mic, but I cannot see you. If you are requesting the mic and maybe I cannot see here, you can just DM me so that I can send you the mic directly, because I see some request and I cannot approve. Jerry 004, I can't find you here. Kindly you can DM me. Yeah. Jeffy, go ahead.
Thank you, Fabish. Thank you, Ras G, the speakers panel, and the listeners. Mimi nataka kusema hivi na sina hata mambo mengi. The government as it stands, the political class, wametubeba ufala for a long time. I personally filed for a petition and submitted my comments about this bill that seeks to extend the presidential term limits. And it's not just the presidential, but every elected leader gets to go from 5 to 7 years. And I said yesterday, this is a charade, it's a drama that is aimed at distracting us, that is aimed at diverting our attention from the bigger things, the real issues that matter to us. And I said, we will go submit. They did actually admit today that we submitted so many comments today on their website. Mpaka website how ika crash. And then we have Cherargei who comes out politicking, because that is what politicians do. We cannot expect anything less than that. And they say 80% of the people of Kenya actually are pro 7 years term limit. And I'm like, isn't this what I was thinking about? Imagine hiyo, yani tunabeba ufala, yani ufala kabisa. We are so busy. We are by with mundane. Tunapoteza time yetu, wengine wetu wanaenda physically pale, wana submit comments zao pale or submissions of petitions against this motion. Both of us have spent the whole of this week trying to, mobilize people. Guys, we want this public participation to go through. Musikubali hii kitu iendelee. And I said, guys, at the end of the day, public participation means nothing to this government. And I can give you an example. And that's why, for me, I think this government that is, as it stands now, does not listen to that language of public matter. When they took us to Bomas 2 weeks ago about the impeachment of Gachagua, it was very clear on every mainstream media that the people said we want the whole of this government to go. If Gachagua goes, we want Ruto to go. And there was no hashtag that was being moved or pushed about Rigathi going. It was just Ruto go. And when we said that, not just him, we meant the whole system of government needed to go. What did they say? They said the public has said Rigathi should go. So my point is this. On the 20th of this month, actually it was on Sunday, tulikuwa tumepanga twende Mashuja's Day to celebrate and commemorate our fallen soldiers who were killed by the gunshot outside of parliament. Guess what happened? Tulienda hapo tu na maji na bendera na sauti zetu. Tell me how it is commensurate to calisters that being thrown at us, tear gas. We have these water cannons, we have rubber bullets, we have live bullets, we have snipers. People die. Tell me, if the government really believes and trusts in the democracy that we speak about, that tukienda tukitoa sauti zetu hivyo watatusikia. And the reason why it has escalated, now we feel like now we need to fight or else we will not have a nation. In the next 5 or 10 years, we will not have anything to fight for because there will be no nation. There will be no country to fight for. Itakuwa yote ishanunuliwa na yote ishaiuzwa. So for me, I am of this idea. I said we lack numbers. Kama hii Sunday ya juzi, kama tungekuwa na numbers and people are just tear gassing us. Now, mnakuwa tear gassed because you are of a crowd of around 40 to 30 people. One just tear gas canister scatters the whole of you. We lack numbers when we say objectively 20 Mandamano. So now we're looking forward to 11-11. And I'm asking myself that question. Will we have the requisite number tukiwa hapo town? 1 million people march. That will be unbreakable. You get that? Now, here is where the military is coming from. The rebellion, the militia is coming from. I want to ask you guys a very simple question. How much does a pistol cost? And I'm sorry for saying this because I've acquired one. I have one. But to the least, it is to the minimum, it's 130K. And I can break it down for you very quickly. In order to acquire like a shorthand gun, a pistol, here in Kenya, right now, presently, you need an application fee of 5,000 Kenya shillings. You need a processing fees of 20,000 Kenya shillings. You need a psychiatric evaluation of 5,000 Kenya shillings. You need firearm handling training, 10,000 shillings. And then you need to purchase that pistol yourself, ranging from 80,000 to 300. So the minimum 80,000. And then you have this first year renewal fee is around 10,000. A total of that would be 130 you would have acquired for yourself. A weapon. If we decide that this is the way that now we are going to go, kwa sababu tumejaribu kuwaongelesha, tumejaribu kufuata constitution, there's nothing constitutional about abducting people, killing people, tupate watu rivayala, tupate people stacked and stashed in polythene bags and in, easy makware is up. So we are talking about a government that is unconstitutional. And when we talk about President Ruto alikataa 2010 constitution from the word go. Question, how do you then think that he will come under that constitution and uphold it for the people of Kenya? He has done everything but uphold the rule of the law. So my question is, sisi ndo tutabaki tu hapo tunasema no, we want to fight the constitution. Well, we've tried that. Niambie mtu akibeba maji na bendera na sauti yake, kwa nini anapigwa risasi? So it's about time, guys. We need to think about these things. I'm of the idea that tukitokea maandamano ndo tumeenda in our numbers and we see a police officer, whether they are masked or they are in their apparel that can be identified, na ashuti mmoja wetu na sisi hatuna gun. Why don't we round up that one police? Take that gun off from their hand. Return hiyo mtutu ya moto kwa sababu wao pia wako na damu na maji. Let's see how they will feel about it. And we can do this. Other things and other strategies can be done privately, but I just broke it down to you. 130,000 Kenya shillings can actually acquire you a firearm licensed by the government of Kenya. What is this that we cannot do? Ndio tukuje hapa tuanze kuongea ati tumeshindwa. We are not going to wait for 2027. People are suffering bana. Who is so patient enough angoje mpaka 2027? Watu wanaenda kwa hospitali instead ya kupata treatment hapo, unatoa pesa, unaenda unauza shamba ndio uende kufanya dialysis. Guys, I think for me it's enough. If you don't have anything to tell us about how we're going to fight this government and the charade and the stupidity that they are treating Kenyans with. JP Morgan is here. Bill Gates is here. They have been offered immunity by the government. Do you know what these guys are? Have you detailed yourself? Have you acquainted yourself with the information about what the international community says about these two foundations? You'd wonder whether or not in the next 10 years we'll have a Kenya that every one of us will be proud of. So mimi nasema hivi, if we cannot share this Kenya, the whole of us, as a country, 54 million of us, then tuipoteze sisi wote. It is not possible that we relegate this nation to a few, 1,000 people, at the expense of the 54 million of us. So those are my 2 cents. Thank you for the space, Fabish. I'm done.
Let's now because time inaenda, watu wengi wanataka kulala, wacha tuende, at least let us limit our minutes so that we can have a lot of speakers. Naona watu wengi wana request. Adonai, then we go to the last scene and then we go to a yoga. Adonai.
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, go ahead.
Evening, you guys. Hope mko poa. I want to thank the host. Thank you for hosting this. And Jeffy, umeongea exactly what I was going to talk about. Na mi kile nilikuwa nataka ni we can't say kina Bill Gates na JP Morgan. Me, I know what they are and I know who they are. If we can keep the ground hostile for those organizations, because hao ndo wanafund Ruto, hao ndo wanafund gava yake. If you can keep that those guys here, I think we need to go banana republic on these guys. Tuende Haiti, kama Haiti. The aim ni gava na Bill Gates na JP Morgan na IMF na Megan whatever white man. Nimekwama huku diaspora. Kwa nini? Because gava haijatuma ati officer wa immigration kuchukua for me to renew my passport. Wanatupa pesa mali hazifai kutupwa. I mean, they're giving out money where money is not supposed to be, and they're taking money where money is not supposed. I mean, and it's the complete opposite. Completely opposite. Yani sielewi yenye I'm so sorry, lakini sielewi mali. Nimekwama na nahitaji usaidizi, wananiambia ongojea government imesema ina pesa. So yenyewe mimi the only way right now, mi nikikuja Jeffy, I really like to inbox him and say, me, I've liked your idea. I am willing to give my blood, my soul, and everything I have to fight for my country. I'm willing to give everything. Bro, mimi nataka tuende banana republic. Mimi nataka tuende hivyo. Kama hatuwezi, kama wazazi wetu wanakufa. Wazazi wetu wanakufa bro. Wazazi wanakufa. Watoto mini millennial. Our brothers are dying on the streets. Wanaabductiwa kila siku. Hajui mahali wameenda. They're mutilated. Wanauliwa. They're being interrogated for things that don't make sense. Who is funding? Huyo MF ako kwa State House and he's the one doing everything. No, it can't happen. Neje Jeffy, mi nikikaa ni inbox bro, mi nataka kuchukua mto. I'm willing kuongelesha wase nikuwe na jeshi. Hata kama
Okay, that's great.
so just
Utanifollow alafu then unidm, nimefungua DM.
Okay.
Then then utani DM. This is what we need as a movement. Tumesema kwamba we need now to start arming ourselves. If you're on the ground on a strategic place, then when DM alafu tutaangalia vile itakuwa.
So one last thing. Na pia mi nilikuwa nataka hiyo tusiwache any organization that is killing our brothers and sisters hapa Kenya. Hata kani wa Niger, hata kani wa Som, hata kani wa Congo. No one should. This is Kenya for Kenyans. Wa Niger, they're not fighting for us. They're fighting to scam us. They're fighting to ritually kill our sisters, kill our brothers. Wa Congo, they're doing the same thing. Wa Somali, they're doing the same thing. Sisi ndo nywele ngumu. Haya basi. Sawa. Kenya for Kenyans. Kenya for Kenyans. We fight our own battles. Tutapigania nchi yetu. I am willing. God is my witness. I am willing to die for my country. Nikirudi, nabai mto. Wallahi Mungu moja. Mungu moja. Nabai mto. na bai mtoase. Thank you so much, host. I'll just step down.
Thank you so much, Adonai. That is the spirit of revolution. Let's go to our lady here, J0024. J0024. Yeah, go ahead.
Good evening.
Yeah, good evening to you.
Nimefurahi leo. Nashukuru Mungu kwa sababu hata mimi nimekuwa mmoja. At least hata mimi nitajisikia niko kwa hii revolution. Nataka kuambia kwa kila jambo yenye watu wanafanya na mmepanga, God anasikiza. And even naweza kawarudisha hata kwa Bible. Whenever the king angeenda kinyume, in fact alikuwa ana anoint one of them, wanaenda kwa battle. By the way, nimekuwa nikiwafuata kwa hii space, but siongeagi juu sikuwa nimejua vile mtu huwa anaingia sijui unaomba kwa mic. Thank you Fabish kwa kunidirect. Thank you very much. Sasa leo nimeerevuka leo. So nilikuwa nawaambia hivi, hata kwa Bible ukimkumbuka mtu alikuwa anaitwa David. Wakati Mungu alikasirika na mtu anaitwa Saul, David alichaguliwa na wakachaguliwa kuanzia akiwa mtoto mdogo sana. Na wakati ilifika sasa lazima apiganie Waisraeli, haikujalisha ni nini, hakuenda mkono tupu. Unaona David alijaribu mpaka akatumia nini? Akatumia kigudha, mimi wacha niite kigudha juu mimi ni Mkikuyu, mimi sijui inaitwa nini na Kiswahili. Akatumia hiyo kitu mpaka akamuua Goliath. So here today tuko na Goliath wa leo na ni Ruto. In fact, and if people wanaweza kuwa na the spirit of discernment, wangekuwa wamejua huyu mtu ni nani. And if there is somebody anagoja Ruto ata change, my friend, nataka nimwambie mimi ni mama, nataka nimwambie Ruto hata change. Sasa it is by force by fire. And let me tell you, the Bible says from the day of the John the Baptist, the kingdom of heaven suffer in violence, and the violence take it by force. Sasa hii revolution lazima mkuwe tayari kuitake by force. Jeffy ameongea vizuri hapo mpaka nikafurahia. Yes. Hakuna vile ati tulikuwa ati sijui watu wanatoka na handkerchief sijui na maji sijui na whatever. These people hawaogopi, na sasa ni aura tu aura. Sasa mi kwa upande yangu mi nitawaombea. Nilikuwa wakati wa hii maandamano ya 25th. Hata kama ilikuwa ya Gen Z, hata mi nilitokea, niko upande wa Nakuru. Na hata mi nilitokea. Na in fact I cried. Hata huwaga naombea each and every individual hapa. Naambia Mungu alinde kila mmoja wetu. Hakuna cha kuogopa. Mungu wako kwa saidi yetu sasa. Na niye anapea watu hii spirit sasa. Kwa sababu anaenda kugeuza nishi. Na mtakumbuka nje is a one term president. Ruto si mtu. Ruto amedecide kuua watu. Amedecide kutuangamiza na kutufinyiria. Anataka kutufanya azin sisi tutakuwa slave wake. Hatutakubali kukuwa slaves. Mi kwanza siwezi kubali. Even I'm telling the people ambapo penye naishi. Hata tukichota kwa maji, I'm telling them. Na in fact I'm telling them. Na in fact wanasikia. Kwa hivyo nivisikia. Kwa hivyo ni vizuri hata kama mnaongea kwa
Je, sijui uko na issues na network? I can't hear her. The last scene, okay, go ahead. Nafikiri ni network yake.
I hope mnanisikia.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's okay. I hope mko fiti. I don't have much today, but I just want to encourage yani like mi kitu ndo show ni action speaks louder than one, na unaweza check tu yani Kenya tunaishi kwa comment section tu, si lazima tungoje kila msee akuambie yani tunafaa to protest like enda tu kwa comment section itakwambia what the people want, unacheki and all tuna clear your wasted time. We need to strategize as to the people wenye wanashinda wakitu ati hatuwezi tokea. We don't want to be funded, we don't need money, we just need the anger. Achendi kutuambia ati lazima we need money, we don't want money. Imagine, unaona, we just want ourselves, unaona.